Welcome to Silva's. How you doing today? Well, moreover, on that ex, I wrote her a letter, and yeah, some things I said to her I was still upset about. But I told her I didn't want to fight with her because these are just feelings I had bottled up inside me for many years. Because I know she has a mental problem, but I know other people that have mental problems who I've had relationships with that were really nice and didn't act that way, but different people act differently. But, you can't, there's no reason why things happen, but they happen. But it was nice to know that she is alive and doing well. At least I hope she is doing well. But, looks can always be deceiving. They can be. It's an open, it's a closed book, But she said she was quite surprised with the way I talked to her, and she's coming off like she's innocent about, with the play of words, saying that all I did was just try to, reach you to have simple conversation after all this time, just to see how you were doing. And, you go ahead and you say that stuff to me. And I'm like thinking, well, I wasn't saying that to you now. I was saying that back when you were in your 20s when we were seeing each other when we were younger. I wasn't saying that, because I was 20, she was 21 and I was 23. So we're 3 years apart from each other. And so, that's before I started dating Evie. That's right. Yeah. So somebody probably make a comment that because I started dating her when I was 24 and Evie was 18 when we started seeing each other. But, yeah, I was going with Christy before I met Evie, and I broke it off with Christy before I met Evie. And then I went with Evie when she was 18. She's nice. She was a nice girl. And then, of course, we broke it off because her mom didn't want us to be together because she was really controlling. And, I think she really picked out her clothes for her and probably bought her underwear, too, probably. Some people were just that controlling, but that's how Mrs. McCrickard is, a very controlling person. That's what a lot of people told me and said to me at camp, Evie's really nice, but her mother is, other people that went with her, tried to go with her, her mother didn't, her mother's really strict and really controlling. I said, well, I ain't worried about her, I know how to deal with those people. So we're just letting you know because her mother's very protective, which really what they're saying is that she's controlling. That's what protective means. I said, well, she's 18 years old and she's a legal adult, so she can make up her own mind. And I thought she had the courage to do that, but I guess I underestimated Evie. She seemed like she was a self-starter, when I met her. But I'm talking about her because of Christy, and it kind of just brought it all out. But, she ended up marrying 2 other guys, and now she's on a 3rd one, and now she had a child, and beautiful girl. She actually was walking down the street, and I saw her, and she let me see her baby. She looks just like Evie. It's just a small version, like somebody ran it off a copy machine. But, beautiful. Mother like daughter, beautiful. And now I think she's about 4 or 5 years old now. But she's a beautiful girl, just like her mother. And she's still, as far as I know, is happily married to this guy. He's got a last name of a car, but I'm glad that they're happy together and hope he's good on gas. But, no pun intended, but he does have a car. It sounds like a name that would sound like a car. Like a car, the name would be a car name. Like when you buy a Volvo or something, it sounds sort of similar, like weird like that. But, people do have weird names, but that doesn't mean that they're weird. It's just their name's funny. I mean, I have a weird name. My name's DeSilvas, and some people say DeSalvos, or some people say, but I don't care. Some people say, I don't know, they say DeSilva, and they say DeSalvo. I think I said that already. And they say syphilis, which I don't know where syphilis and DeSilvas have anything in common with each other, but anyway, that person, I had to give him a little punch in the back, and, after that, I kind of quit stopping. But otherwise than that, though, people just say, people that are mature and growing up, they just say DeSilvas because that's how you say it. It's my last name is Portuguese. What can I say? Hey. So, I'm Italian, so I'm Italian, Portuguese, and everything else. Isn't everybody? Most people are Italian, not everybody. But a lot of people are, and probably don't even know it. But probably about 50% Italian and everything else. And Portuguese, too. Not 50%, but some percentage of that, but more Italian than Portuguese. My name, though, is Portuguese, though, but I don't know if I truly am or not. According to my name, I guess, Ancestry.com, I guess that means I am, but I don't know. Who knows for sure? All I know is I was born here in America, and I would say I'm not an Italian-American. I'd say I'm just American because my ancestors were Italian and were Portuguese. And yes, it's in my blood. But, there's nothing wrong. I love it being Italian. I have some brothers, they're all Italian. And, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's not, it's a great time to be alive, and, but I talked about Christy and all, and I talked about Evie because they kind of come out together because I broke it off. That's what made me think about that. The mind works. I broke it off with Christy and went with Evie, and then in 2000 I went back to Christy. 2002, 2003, or 4. She tried to reach out to me like I told you last night. Anyway, she said she just was talking to me, and she said she basically, in short, that she was not going to contact me anymore after this. Let's go back to Christy again. She's not going to contact me anymore after this because, she's, didn't like the way I responded to her because she took it real offensive because I said she was rather inexperienced. And she was rather inexperienced. I don't know any woman that's experienced when they're around 21 years old. Do you? Do you know anyone that's experienced at 21 as far as being a woman and knowing how to, understand things? Because I know when I was 21 or 23, I wasn't experienced. I'm more experienced today, but I'm still learning than I was when I was in my 20s. And that's what I was saying, Christy. I wasn't trying to say you're not experienced now. I was saying you weren't back then, as you are now. I can't help that you have a mental condition and you kind of hear what you want to hear and kind of read between the lines. That's what you do, and you like to stir up drama. You're a drama queen, so that's why I broke it off with you. That's why I don't want to have nothing to do with you, because you always like to do drama and all, and you got 5 shrinks you see and all, and God forbid, man, you might need 10 more. And I don't know, all the shrinks in the world could help you, but I hope the only one that can help you really and will be one day God if you come to Him. I don't even know if you're faithful. I don't even know if you even attend a church. Have you thought about that? Because I've always wondered about your salvation and your soul. And I prayed for you, and I'll continue praying for you. But, some of the things I said are kind of disheartening and kind of mean. But, it's kind of weird and crazy to get a comment from your ex, out of the blue, and it's really, really strange behavior to have somebody write me and ask me how I'm doing. And then when I was talking to her, when she replied back to me, she called me honey like we're in a relationship. I'm like, I'm not your honey. I don't know why you're calling me honey. We're not even together. We're nothing. So that's crazy there. But she called me honey. She said, honey, that's not what I mean. I'm like we're in a relationship. And I'm like, no, that's over and done with. That bridge has already been barged a long time ago. So you call all your people and all your affairs and all your people you mess around with behind your men's back, honey, probably messing with another man behind the one you're with now. I wouldn't be surprised because common people with multiple personalities tend to do that. Will tend to have relationships and will be more high risk to cheat on their spouse partner. Because that's what statistics and what studies seem to indicate, people that have that. And that's what she's diagnosed with, multiple, and we say multiple personalities on the street, but they say identity disorder, and that's what Christy has. So, God can only deliver her from these things. I'm sorry she was sexually molested by a horrible monster, her dad, between the ages of 4 and 8. But when I made the comment about her not being experienced as a woman when she was 21, had nothing to do, or wasn't even connected with her being abused with her dad, but she took it personal, like she did long ago, and I wasn't meaning nothing by that. I wasn't talking about her dad or anything, but she took it and wanted to turn around and make it look like that, so everybody could give her pity and mercy and compassion. But yet, she still continues to do what she does and denies it, that she does it, because she goes around messing around with other guys, behind the person who she's with. And, all the people that are out there that know Christy, McKinney or Elizabeth McKinney, just be aware and be advised of that, because unless you like open relationships, then maybe y'all might have something. But, if you're living that way, as a preacher, that's what I am now, I would say to stop doing that, because God frowns upon that. And it's not biblical to live and have an open relationship. And, there is places where people can go to get help with that, because that's kind of sort of like a sexual disorder, or a mental disorder, because of something that she may not be getting, and maybe something to do with one of her personalities that makes her act out like that. And, just to warn you, you can still have a relationship with these people, but you're going to need a lot of patience and a lot of love and a lot of maturity and a lot of mental understanding, because these people will make you go crazy if you don't have that. And they can really make you lose your mind if you allow it. But I didn't let Christy do that to me, because I know all this stuff isn't her fault. She wasn't born with, fibromyalgia, and all these other, and mental problems, and bipolar, and, multi-identity disorder, acute identity disorder, what she's got. I still feel sorry for her, the way she was born, because she can't help these things. She can't help. But when you try to explain something, she still refuses not to listen and believe what she wants to believe. It's kind of hard to really have a relationship with anyone that's like that, of any kind. And it was just really crazy to hear from her. And then when we were talking, when I said something back to her, I wasn't being mean. I was just telling her how I felt. She's so good about telling how she feels all the time. So, I just was letting her know and airing how I felt. And she, was just turning it around into something to make it look like, pity me, look at me, look at me. I was abused, as a victim. You were a victim when you were a child, but here you're 41 years old, like you stated. When that happened, it was when you were 4 to 8 years old. And that's a shame it happened, but, apparently there's a lot more other things that have happened in your life other than just that you still have to work through. And that's not going to happen overnight. With you, it's probably going to take, it'll probably take this whole lifetime. And you'll never have normal relationships with anyone unless they're the kind of person that accepts you and decides to cheat around on you just like you're cheating around on them, which is not really a biblical relationship. Even though on the surface it may look like that because you're married to someone. But in reality, that's not the way that God would recognize to be a wholesome relationship. Like the way it was set up, the way God set it up according to Adam and Eve. And of course some illnesses will allow people to do that, and then they'll justify it because they don't want to say that they're cheating around, and they don't want people to know that they're doing it, or they consciously know they're doing it. And they'll just say, oh, well, no, like the hotel room, when I walked in on it, I heard all the loud laughing down the hallway. I mean, I heard the laughing like about halfway down the hallway and all the, laughing. And, like, what's going on in there? I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like running to the room. And then I go in there and they're nothing but their underwear. She was in her bra and in her underwear with nothing else on. And then he was in nothing but his boxers. And they were having a pillow fight. And, when I came to the room, they were in there and they all had their clothes on. So I could understand why their clothes had to come off to have a pillow fight. So when I asked her about that, and that's why I broke up with her. And then when I asked her about it when we got back together, she still denied it. And that's why I broke up with her again. That's the real reason why I broke up with her. Because she don't tell the truth about, things. And she likes to justify it and explain it away to make it look like, I don't know much. And like I don't know what she's doing when I have I have 4 degrees in college. I know what she's doing, and I know a lot of that has to do with her condition, but I'm not going to marry someone who I have to always constantly keep under surveillance or to monitor, because she's not like a normal person, because she has a higher risk because of 3 different personalities that she has. I can't have that drama in my life. That's the drama queen, because she's always having drama. I know she had a lot on her plate, and I know she had things happen to her that ain't her fault, but, God forbid, all guys that are out there, Kristen McKinney, she lives in the Roanoke area, Virginia, and if you're dating with her, and you're with her in a relationship, you just remember, what I said, because this girl will mess around with other guys behind your back, and that is not paranoia. She really does. And then when you confront her about it, she'll deny it. So you just remember that. And that's why I left her, and that's why I like to leave the exes alone. An ex like that is something you need to leave alone. I never contacted her, but she always seems to always find and contact me. So anyway, I hope she really means it at the end when she said she's not going to contact me anymore. I really do, because that's a past I'd rather not want to regress. And it's a past I'd rather have closed forever with that girl. If Heavy wants to contact me, that's fine. If she does want to. But as far as any other exes, no. But anyway, that's what I got to say about what happened more about that when she responded back to what I wrote to her, which I thought was really weird because I wasn't cutting down on her. I was just saying, she didn't have as much experience. And she didn't have the mindset or the maturity to deal with what I was telling her. And that's why she responded that way. And she's still, based on the way she's acting, doesn't have the same mental capacity or mindset today either. She might be older, and she's gotten smarter in her ways because she's older, but she's still the same Christy. She's not really changed really at all. So anyway, my hat goes off to her, and I wish her well. I don't have any bad grudges or anything against anybody. So I'm signing off, but I just want to voice this out. Let me know what you think about relationships like this. Are you in one like this? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Like I said yesterday, write something down in the comment below and let's get a conversation going. Remember to keep it clean because kids do watch this channel, and also a lot of churches do too. So please keep your language clean. And remember, this is adult. Keep it appropriate. Okay? Thanks a lot. And, please share us a story. But remember, keep it short because the comments can only be so many lines, so many characters long. They don't tell you that, but they can only be so long. So try to keep it under 200 characters. Okay? And maybe you can just kind of abbreviate, maybe write a few comments, to tell your whole story. But I like to hear it, and then I can, maybe give you some pointers, or maybe you share some insights with me that I didn't think about. All right? I'll see you later. Bye for now. Love you. Stay strong in the Lord.